Hello again, guys. Back when I was at CES, I met with a guy from a company called Anker, as you might be able to see on this little device here, if it'll ever focus. There we go. Yeah, Anker makes batteries, power supplies, all sorts of stuff like that. And while I was at CES, he said, "You guys are from XDA. We love XDA. Here, have this. It's a 5-port, 40-watt desktop USB power adapter." It comes with a little power cable, this little thing, so you can hook it up to the wall, and it has 5 different ports with their Power IQ technology, so it should put out, I think it's up to 2.1 amps per port, with a maximum of, I do believe 8 amps is the max. Looking here, it says output 8 amps at a given time. Anyway, this is not the point of this video. I've been using this thing over the last year and absolutely loving it. It is a staple on my desk. I take it with me when I go on trips, when I go to Vegas or New York, or when I went over to England. This was with me because I can plug five things in at a time. This is not a unique device, obviously. There are a bunch of other ones out there. But what I like about this device, but the reason I'm showing you this device today is, as I'm putting stuff back into my office, I've noticed I don't really have a good place to store phones and tablets. So I did some looking around on Amazon, and I noticed Anker actually makes a 5-device charging station. This device, which was $25 or $26 on Amazon, does not actually come with any power or any USB hubs. It's really just a box. So today is actually going to be a review of this device, because as I said, I've been using this thing for a year, and this fits into it. So let me go ahead and take the box apart. I'll show you what's in it and what it all looks like and how it all goes together. And then inside the box itself, here's Anker box. We'll open it up. There we go. And I haven't actually looked through this yet, so I really don't know what's going to be inside of it. Here we go. This is the box itself. We'll get rid of all the extra packaging. Anker does love to put some extra materials in here as well. You've got the "Are you happy? Do this. Are you unhappy? Do that" manual. Yeah. If you're not happy, contact support. If you are happy, here's the things you can do. But anyway, we'll go ahead and move the boxes off to the side. And this is the product itself. This is the 5-device charging station. Realistically, for me, it is the 5-device holding station where I can charge things. That is great as far as I'm concerned. Now, I've seen a couple of other videos about this product. As you can see from the front, it's got 3 slots in it. It's white. It's kind of a hard plastic, kind of like this hard plastic, but it's not quite as shiny. You can't really tell from the lighting, but this is very shiny. This is a little more matte. It has that traditional Anker branding on it, and a little open spot here that you might tell. There we go. Kind of matches up there. Now, this is the part that I haven't seen in any of the videos. There you go. This is what the actual layout looks like. It's this is kind of rubberized. It's like a hard plastic with rubber on top of it. And you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 slots you could actually fit power cables up through. So you do have a little bit of expandability. And you've got these little ports here you can sort of slide USB cables over through if you don't want to have a device in it at the time. Let me go ahead and pull this out and we can look inside the box and start assembling things. There we go. It is a little tight in there, but that's it. This is the little piece that comes out. It fits back in there. It actually tells you this is the front, this is the back. And then, as you can probably tell from this, there's a little cutout, a little groove, which, there we go. This fits beautifully into. It's not locked into place or anything. You could probably put something in here if you wanted to. I don't intend to move this around a lot. But yeah, so now you've got your 5 USB ports right there. You've got your power connection here in the back, so I can actually go ahead and hook that up. And then as soon as I'm ready, I can start hooking USB cables up. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a bunch of white USB cables to match this, but just as an example, this is a small black USB cable I've been using. So I can go ahead and hook this one up here. There we go. And then the cable itself just sort of rests down here in the bottom. And once I'm ready, I can go ahead and put the top on and feed it through where I want it to go. So I'm going to go ahead and put it here in the back. We'll just slide it up through one of these holes, put the stuff together, and there you go. I have a bunch of extra cable, which that might be an annoyance for some people. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how it works. Yeah, so after messing around with this for a little bit, you do have to sort of make sure your cables don't get in the way when you're trying to put everything back together. So I'm going to kind of wrap it up like that. We'll try this again. And there we go. The cable's out of the way. Now everything sits flush and looks nice. So this cable is going to sit right there. Then I'm going to grab a tablet. We'll just grab the HP Slate 7 Extreme. I use this a lot for making videos. Now, unfortunately on this one, the power cable is on the top, but I can put it in upside down, not a big deal. Then we'll go ahead and just hook it up. And just like that, it's ready to go. I can slide it back down in there, and it sits in the slot there in the back. And much in the same way, I've gone ahead and brought in a couple of other devices. We can just take a look at it. This is the Nexus 10, the original Nexus 10. This is going to be a real issue because it's charging ports here on the side, so it may not do terribly well in here, but at the very least it could be used as a stand for it. Yeah, Nexus 10 isn't going to fit in there quite well like this. However, if we put it in sideways, let's just see if that's going to work out. Slide this on over, we'll fit it in there sideways, and down. There we go. Not sure, I don't believe it's putting any pressure on the USB port there, so that's kind of nice. And then while we're at it, we can go ahead, if we had cables in here, we could set this guy up, we'll set up the Kindle, we'll set up the 1+1, you can put other devices in here, and there you go. You have a nice little stand. Let me adjust here a little bit. There you go, that's a little bit easier to see. You've got a nice little stand here now. As I was moving it, I noticed the feet on it are really non-slip. I mean, you can move it, but it's taking a significant amount of force to actually move it around. And it does hold a decent amount of devices, a decent amount of weight. I could put 3 phones here side by side, 2 in the middle, and then 1 larger tablet in the back, or any sort of configuration therein. You're only going to have charging ports for up to 5 devices, but like with the Nexus 10, not necessarily the Nexus 10, but anyway, for a device like this where the charging port's on top, you could technically bring a cable up to it from a different charging station like this if you wanted to. So really, I like it. I'm a big fan of it. Realistically, I'm not going to be charging any more than 5 devices at a time, and I'll probably have 6 or 7 sitting in here at a time, so I'm a big fan of this. And for I think it was $26 shipped using Amazon Prime, I'm a big fan of this thing. When you couple it up with the USB port hub, the 5-port hub, I think the hub itself runs about $35 or $40. I'll try to find a link to that on Amazon as well and include that when I find it. The total of it comes out to about $60 for all of this with power. And honestly, I was looking at a device on Kickstarter a couple of months ago that was almost exactly like this. I think it had a few more slots, and it was about $150 for, I think it had 4 or 6 USB ports. So this is pretty similar to that, and I paid, well, personally, I paid $26 for it because I didn't pay for the USB hub. Thank you, Anker. But either way, I'm a big fan of this, and if you have a lot of devices like this, if you're interested in having them laid out in an array like this where you can easily see them and then come back and pick up the one that you need at the time you need it, that seems like a pretty good option there. The one thing that I will see as potentially being a problem is the cabling, because as you saw, I had to kind of work to weave everything in underneath it. But other than that, it seems like it's going to be a really good option, and hopefully it will fit very nicely here on my shelves. I do have the IKEA cubicle shelves over here on the side. You can't actually see with this camera angle, but I'm going to try to set up one of my cubes with this, and we'll just see what it looks like real quick. And there you go. That wasn't terribly difficult. Now, obviously, all the devices I've got in there are not going to be able to charge at the same time, but I was able to fit, in this case, 6 devices. Could have been more than that, but I've got things like the Fire HD6, the Nexus 5, the Nokia Lumia 520, the cheapo Walmart tablet I mentioned before, the HP Extreme 7, and even an iPad Air there in the background. Holds everything nicely, seems very solid, and I'll be able to run a cable down the back there over to the wall plug, and won't have any issues with charging devices anymore. I just have to get the cables in there and wired up. But definitely looking forward to keeping devices here moving forward. It'll be a good place to have things sort of rotate in and out. And that's about it. If you have any questions about this, definitely let me know in the comment section below. I have links to this and the USB hub down there as well. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.